Welcome to AIDS Town, everybody.
Population U.
You can't spell like HIV that. Without you. Here we are. Yeah, I don't spell
without I.
I got the anyway. All right. Welcome to Podophiles. And today, Brandon's going to teach us how AIDS and COVID and other diseases they're not fake, but they're kind of like Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster and all that. They're kind of fucking urban legends. Right, Brandon?
Yeah, that's a great way to describe it, Pat.
I'm good at what I do.
Yeah, you know what? You nailed that one because
like Jesus.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm just gonna tell you. Yeah, exactly. Just like Jesus to the cross. Let me tell you a quick story if I could find this guy's name. So basically what happened was, so the way that they test for the COVID, right, is this test called the Pcr test. And what it does is it doesn't test for the virus. It tests for pieces of RNA and DNA that are said to be pieces of the virus after it breaks up. And
that's a question.
What's that? Yeah, go ahead.
What's RNA?
What's
ribonucleic acid? Boom.
Okay. What is that? I mean,
I don't know.
I know what DNA is. You make up your molecules of who you are and all that stuff. But what is RNA? What's the difference?
I believe that it's pretty much the same thing. It's like pieces of the same. So this is what I can tell you, right? I'm not an expert, but I just know certain facts that if I could relay them to the general public, they're really.
Wait a minute. Oh,
really? Yeah, go ahead.
Dave, you first.
Okay. I think DNA is the molecule that we know, that the double helix that makes up, your genetic components. But RNA might be what's found in the cell's mitochondria. It's like the DNA of the cell.
DNA of the cell. Okay, that makes sense because what I was going to say is, go ahead.
I think, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I know that Brandon isn't an expert.
All right. Well, I just,
well, compared to us, I think it's.
I know, but that disclaimer, I think, but I might be wrong, wasn't needed.
Don't let my pirate appearance fool you. I'm no expert.
Pirate appearance? That's what RNA is. Molecules. Me molecules or me makeup. Not that it be confused with my eyeliner. It's me makeup.
It's me makeup, mate.
We went to the land of the Isle of Double Helix.
There you go. Yeah, you got it now.
I don't.
Oh, you're so close. That's what she said. I am an expert. It's so close. Yeah, it's so far away. What I am an expert in is bullshit detection. I do play a lot of poker, and I'm just.
You're friends with me.
I'm friends with Pat Oates. Everybody. Just something that I'm always really good at picking out inconsistencies. It's just my personality type, which is the INTP, has to do with the MTBI whole thing. But anyway.
You down with OPP?
Yeah, you know.
It's LOGFNMIOFBICIA. You guys know. So anyway, what I was going to say is it's basically just like what they're looking for in this PCR test are pieces of the coronavirus when it breaks up. So it's great that Dave said that. So it's pieces. They're like building blocks, right? So the PCR test, what it does is it takes a chunk of your goo, they put it on a slide, and the PCR test magnifies it. Magnifies it to like the second power to the fourth power. Did I say something funny again? Not realize it.
The piece of your goo, the most scientific thing.
I'm an expert over here. I know what I'm talking about. You got goo, and then you got schmegma. All right, the schmegma comes from the penis.
But in my medical opinion, chunky of goo is the worst goo. If I went to a doctor and they said, it looks like you have a case of the chunky of goos, I'd be like, holy shit, I'm leaving. You were killing it. You're like, and it is chunky. But that's what's great about this podcast. People are like, oh, is he just going to teach us? Like, no. He talks dumb like we are. Don't worry, everybody.
That's my skill. I could dumb things down because I am dumb. But I have like a really high IQ, so I can realize things, but I'm also dumb. It's really hard to explain.
Good combo. Yeah. I also like the idea of like, there's an Asian girl. Her name is Goo. And then she gained weight. Now she's back to school. Have you seen her? Now she's chunky. Goo.
I got the perfect analogy for this. It's like when I was in the Marine Corps and I lived in North Carolina for a couple of years, and I started to pick up like a Southern drawl. So every time I came into Connecticut, everyone was like, "You sound like you're a redneck." And then when I went down south, they were like, "You sound like a Yankee." So it's just like now. So to really smart people, I sound dumb as shit. But to dumb people, I sound smart. So no one can
Yeah,
they just understand me on both. Yeah, it's like I'm right in the middle. Yeah, mediocrity.
And then either place they would go, that motherfucker say chunky or goo.
Yeah, did he say goo?
Where the fuck he get that? And then the real talkers like us, Connecticut, how TV talks.
Yeah, how
was
TV
like,
talks. That's how
that man say chunky or goo. That's the name of our gardener. So anyway,
Chunky Magoo.
Chunky or goo.
So they got my goo. What are they doing with it?
Wasn't he in Goonies, Chunky Magoo?
Chunky or goo.
They're taking your goo and they're magnifying it to the second power, to the fourth power, every time it's like exponential. It gets really big. They go all the way up to like 40 something times, and they're looking for these pieces of RNA. And if they find them, then you're, a certain amount of them, then you are quote unquote COVID-19 positive. The problem is if they do this test and magnify up to 60, everybody will test positive because it will show up in everybody's sample at that point. How does that make you feel?
Everybody's got COVID.
And so what I'm saying is everything I said is true. You can look it up. And where I got this from?
I'm not gonna.
I never would.
Yeah. I'm so used. This is the thing.
Unless it's on Pornhub, I ain't searching.
I'm so used to doing like solo podcasts about this. It's like I'm in that mode. You know what I mean? I got to remember that.
Brandon, I love how you're trying to defend yourself like either of us are going to be like, well, that seems incorrect. Where's your evidence?
Well, sir, I was doing research.
You, sir.
Stepmothers sleep with their stepsons sometimes.
I watched a YouTube video and it told me. You, sir. Well, I'm actually going to address that right now. And so the guy who invented the PCR test that they're using right now, the PCR test isn't just for the coronavirus. It was invented a while ago. And
what was it invented for originally?
It was invented, I think it was for the AIDS virus because they were looking for a way. They never isolated.
Yes, Dave.
Go ahead.
I think I know something.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
The dude he won the Nobel Prize because he's the guy I don't know if he invented this test, but he diagnosed discovered HIV. He's a French guy. He won the Nobel Prize.
Mm-hmm.
I found it inside Rock Hudson's asshole.
Right next to the potato.
Look what I've discovered inside the asshole of Rock Hudson. It's inside there. So was I.
He go from French to Chinese.
Yeah.
What else was up there? I want to know about this asshole. This fucking asshole.
So many things were up in the asshole. It was so many things. Oh, Ratatouille.
No, he's Mexican.
Ratatouille.
He was
French
in the
fries.
There was some cheese. Fromage.
That's Italian.
I found much goo in the asshole.
Much goo.
There was chunky goo inside the asshole. So much.
I know one other thing.
Yes, go ahead.
There's AIDS inside my chest. It's flowing through my asshole and it's going in your face. Yes, Dave.
Yes, Dave.
This guy who's a Nobel laureate for discovering HIV now studies trying to prove whether or not water has a memory, and the scientific community won't talk to him.
Wait, do you know where he discovered AIDS?
In water.
No,
in a monkey's butt in Africa.
And his boyfriend's asshole.
Oh, that was a joke I did 4 minutes ago. I did the joke. I did a character that you guys shit on. I did.
And he did his boyfriend and got AIDS.
I was doing it as a tribute
to the table, and you guys shit all over.
I was doing my joke as a tribute to your joke you did earlier, Pat. Jeez.
Tributes are supposed to be better.
Ironically, Pat, shitting on other people's joy is what I bring to the table.
What was that, Dave? We couldn't hear you over how talented I am.
Forget it, it's gone.
Yes, Dave. By the way, that's my new favorite thing. of Dave raising his hand and me and Brandon calling on him. But only Brandon should call on him because I just deferred to Brandon. So I'm like, yes, Dave. And then I back up and let Brandon answer it. Why am I calling to you?
He's like the moderator. Dave?
From my perspective on my display, I raise my hand. Pat looks at me and says, "Yes, Dave." Then I speak. Then Pat looks down at Brandon.
I do it every time.
It was right.
I literally do that every time. I can just look straight. I literally look and I don't mean to. I've noticed that in all the shows. And literally, when you're talking, Dave, I'm like, then Brandon's like, I think that's what happened to two of the autistic kids in the Brady Bunch. They were in that box and they can see it. They weren't meant to do that. They're just like, who the fuck's Alice? Why is she in our family? All right, so anyway. Oh, do we freeze?
I can't tell if we froze.
Brandon froze or he's
really
doing
high.
I hope Brandon's not frozen. He's just the greatest still actor of all fucking time. No one's ever looked happier than Brandon looks right the fuck there. Holy shit. Brandon is fucking joyous. Look at it. Look at the grin in his face like a boy who first saw a tit. Look at that face.
This is the best we've ever done.
That's the face that you have. Obviously, Brandon had an issue for it. But that face Brandon was making was the face that all these people in these photos had right before they got AIDS. Not all of them. By the way, Arthur Ashe is the saddest story of all of them.
See, I know the name. I know nothing about Arthur Ashe.
Arthur Ashe is a tennis player. I mean, Hall of Fame, like Wimbledon, all that kind of shit. Fantastic tennis player. Also, African-American playing tennis, so dealt with a lot of fucking racism that nobody even gave a fuck about. Incredible athlete, all that. Got AIDS, not from the fun ways. Not from sex, not from drugs. From a goddamn blood transfusion.
Oh, I did know that. Yeah.
Not even the fun way.
Like the worst part about getting AIDS is if you don't earn it.
The worst part about getting AIDS is telling everyone else you got AIDS. Every kiss begins with AIDS. Well, what would you do? If you had AIDS, would you tell other people that you slept with?
I mean, legally, aren't you required to?
I'm not. I didn't talk about legal. His internet's out.
How did that happen?
I don't know, but do we not do the podcast?
I mean, we can talk about it. It's going to be very different without facts.
Can you put it back in? That's what I'm asking him.
Tell him to try turning it off and turning it back on.
What if I put him on my phone and he just talked through the microphone? That would be the
worst.
My
God, yes. That's the worst idea. Let's do it.
I don't think that's going to work.
I got it.
Can I FaceTime him?
I don't know. I just got the text message.
Yeah. Text him and just say, call Pat's phone.
Okay.
Because you and I can't do this.
No, we have no knowledge to back this up.
No, now you're frozen a little bit too. Should we just not do this episode?
No, this is the best. This is our best program ever.
We were gonna kill it. He was really starting off well. We had a whole thing.
It really was.
You know what? Fuck him. We can do this. We're not dumb.
Well.
No, we're smart. I can also Google.
That's true.
You should Google, is AIDS a myth? Or I'll do it. If he's going to call me, I can't do it. But hold on. Is AIDS a myth? We can do this. Tell him fuck up.
I got it back.
You're back.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got Google.
Myth about HIV and AIDS. Okay. Ooh. I don't need him. I just need someone else to do research for me. Okay. All right. Fast facts.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, no.
What happened?
Yeah, and this isn't going to work. I was going to try to put you on the phone here.
Oh, I can't.
Can you talk out loud for a minute?
Hang on. Have a headset. All right, what's up?
Dave, can you hear that at all?
Nice. I can.
Yeah, you can talk, but it's not gonna. I think we just cancel this podcast because literally Dave's freezing a lot too for some reason. So
Well, I was trying to text.
what? You got
Brandon.
internet? It's back. Well, then just come back
Are
on.
you sure? Yeah.
Can you get back in? Dave, you got to talk while I'm on a phone with him, Dave. We are recording.
Oh, I wanted to hear what he was going to say.
Dave's
I was
listening,
looking up
waiting for
HIV.
you to
Hold on.
talk.
That's right. I'm being a good listener. I'm being an active listener.
No
HIV
way. This is gold.
myth.
We're keeping this.
This is all right.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking.
So
we
I
tried to do it
typed-
without you. I looked up AIDS.
Yeah,
So, yeah. Can you get back in?
I typed.
All right. When you can get back in, get back in. I'm going to take the lead. And then when you get back in, you can tell us how I'm wrong. All right? Okay, good.
There
All right.
we go.
He's figuring out internet. All right, Dave. Fast facts. There's a lot of myths around because I'm that old. Hold on. If I'm going to read. gotta
Oh,
put
you're
on
getting the glass.
bifocal.
Nice. Are those actually bifocals?
Yeah, there's a line there. I can't see. I'm that old of a man. This year, I got
Wow.
bifocals and high blood pressure medication. That's what happened to me. There's a lot of myths around, but the facts of how you get HIV and how you protect yourself are very simple. By knowing the facts about HIV, you can save yourself a lot of worry and help to bust myths and misconceptions. Wait, what? It's not anything. One of the most common myths of people living with HIV here is that they can be cured. Ha, you can't. There's no cure yet for HIV.
Does it actually
No,
say?
it doesn't. I brought that. I added that. I'm a great actor. Wah, wah. You got the fucking AIDS. Bounce. There's no cure yet for HIV, but antiretroviral treatment works and will keep someone living with HIV healthy. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions about how you can get HIV. Here we debunk those myths and give you facts about how it's passed on. HIV can only be passed. All right, Dave, we're going to play this game. HIV can only be passed on from one person to another via the following bodily fluids. There's 5. Can you name them?
Okay. Oh, I thought we were going to do true or false. There's blood,
Why would it?
sex
I said,
juice.
wait. How would it be true? I said there's 5 fluids. You go and right away. I thought it was going to be true or false.
Yeah, I thought you were going to give me a list and like I'd be like true or false.
That would mean I have to
I
make
didn't
up
realize
other
you're gonna-
bodily fluid. I'm not making up other bodily.
Like snot.
Okay, fine.
Snot's a fluid.
You want to play that game?
Hey.
Hello, sir.
Oh yeah.
Brandon, we're playing a
Absolutely.
game. You can get in. Ready?
Yes.
True or false? HIV can only be passed on from one person to another via the following bodily fluids. I will say a bodily fluid. You say true or false. Right?
And kick your ass, Brandon.
Blood.
False.
True.
Dave has 1 point.
Nope. No, he doesn't.
Chunky
And
goo.
this is why.
Let
No,
me-
hang on.
No, Brandon.
It's never.
Let's do Brandon. We're gonna do the game, and then you can do your thing.
Okay, all right.
That's the
And then we'll
point of
prove
this.
how I was actually right. Gotcha.
No, right. It's according to what they're saying, and then therefore I'm going to say I'm looking on the internet. But Brandon knows this. That's how we do it. So according to
Gotcha.
the internet, advert.org, Dave has 1 point. Second one,
Okay.
chunky goo.
That's got to be true.
No.
Brandon has 1 point. Chunky goo is a thing
Damn
Brandon made up earlier.
But it sounded
Semen.
so scientific.
Semen.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. As part of
Sailors
their
never
narrative,
wear
yeah.
Ding, ding, ding,
condoms.
ding. Pre-cum.
Ooh.
Yes.
I'm gonna
According to their
say-
narrative, yeah, of course.
I'm going to say false.
Well, Brandon knows narrative. If Brandon says according to narrative, go with Brandon. And Brandon's already got his fucking anti-abortion clinic sign up and ready to rock. Just get in the train.
Well, I think
Everybody,
pre-cum is a
come
myth.
on in. I know it's hot out, but I'm serving an ice-cold batch of vaginal fluid. What do you think, everybody? Vaginal fluid, yes or no? True or false?
Let me see vaginal fluid.
Well, you go first, Dave, and then I'll let you know because I already.
I'm going to say yes.
And I'm going to say that, yes, this is how they try to prove that women get it.
I didn't read the answer with sass, but Yes, the answer is true. Brandon added sass to it, and that's fine. Anal mucus. Anal
gotta go.
mucus.
I think my internet's breaking up.
Anal mucus.
I can't believe
Oh,
that.
wait,
that
hang on.
ass
Can I break in here really quick? Do you guys want to
Yeah.
start a band named Anal Mucus?
Yes.
Anal mucus unplugged.
Butt plugged. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Anal
that's what he
mucus,
meant. Yeah, that's
butt
what he meant.
plugged.
No, I think he meant unplugged from the butt plug, right?
No. That's why he spit his drink out. Dave just
Well, you
wanted
can't
to
take a
yell
drink when you.
Dave just wanted to yell unplugged.
When me and Pat Oates are going back and forth, you can't take a drink.
Ask Q-stick. All right. Anal mucus, yay or nay? And by the way, after you answer this, tell me if you knew anal mucus was a thing.
I
didn't.
can't believe that ass would ever betray me. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I would say according to the narrative, yeah.
No, I would say no one's ever gotten AIDS from butt stuff.
Oh yeah, I agree that way, but they say it's that.
Oh my God, that's where it comes from. Butts. AIDS comes from butts. That's what the Lord says. The Lord says.
Shit.
It's in the Bible, didn't
It's
you
in
know?
the
It's
Bible.
the
Gays
Talmud.
are wrong, and they fuck in the butt. Sodom and anal mucus. Did you know there was
Opening
anal
for
mucus?
anal mucus.
I knew
Sodom.
there was regular
Don't look
mucus.
back.
Did you know there was anal mucus?
I knew that there was lubricant that the anus made for shit. Yes, unfortunately, because I knew that because somebody once told me their dog had anal glands that leaked, and I was like, I didn't want to know that, but now I fucking do.
That's
and
a thing.
I have a nice
No,
day.
that's the thing. It's called expressing the anal glands.
Okay.
That's a thing.
I think that's a
I think
poem
my
by
internet's
Maya
breaking
Angelou.
up.
Maya Angelou was like, and then I expressed my anal glands across the land, and I got slapped with the white man's hand, and I couldn't shit no more. To die! To
Man,
sleep!
shit right for a week.
By the way, I didn't know. So if I'm taking a shit and it's like hurting coming out, does that mean my butt needs some more mucus? I'm not producing glands?
That means your
Let me ask
that
you
means
this,
your
Pat
ass
Oates.
snot is dry.
Can't talk over each other, gland people.
I'm
I'm gonna tell Dave to stop for a minute. I'm gonna go to Brandon's real answer, and then Dave's gonna say a thing.
Well, this is gonna be not a real thing, but do you ever wipe and like there's no shit, but
I
it's
always
still like
wipe.
something? That's what it is.
Just to clear it, I always wipe.
No, there wasn't a comma. It was a full
Oh.
sentence.
Hey, Matt.
Did you ever wipe?
You have a wipe?
Yeah. Did you ever wipe?
Hey.
Hey.
Andy Rooney
This
here.
is Andy Rooney.
Two people getting this reference. It's me and Brandon. You have a wipe?
Tonight on 15 minutes.
Listen, Charlie Sheen's getting that reference.
Magic Johnson. You have a wipe?
How do you think I got the AIDS?
Because you got bidets. Bidets is how you clean your asshole. It's a bidet with AIDS. Bidets. For the guy with AIDS who needs to wipe his butthole. Bidets. It's me, Andy Rooney, for bidets.
You ever wipe?
I'm going to say that line
That
one
should
more
be a
time till someone
t-shirt.
laughs. Bidets.
I haven't stopped laughing.
Anal mucus.
All right.
How? I'm just mad I never knew about it because I would have definitely called people that in high school. You fucking anal mucus.
Now we're gonna have to discover time travel just so I can go back.
It's like go back and yell at younger me. You should have known.
And then we come to the future. There's no COVID. It's like that was you just had to call people anal mucus, and they got woke.
They got woke. All right, and finally, breast milk.
So anal mucus was a yes.
Anal mucus was a real thing on there. I didn't make up the simple fact that I said I didn't know was real. I only made up two of the words so far. Only one. I only made up one. I made up the yours, chunky goo. Everything else has been on there.
But I mean, it does. They say it does spread, is what I'm saying.
Breast
I'm
milk.
gonna say
No,
I'm gonna say
anal
no.
mucus.
Hear me
Yes,
out.
anal mucus spreads it.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
Okay. Hear me out.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say no to breast milk, and the reason why
Because I like
Please.
real milk.
food comes out of your butt. So it seems like a breast would be the opposite since
Food?
it makes food.
Food.
Yeah, food comes out of your butt.
Food.
But
not waste of
food
food.
comes out of your boot.
Food. You're saying
Well, you know, for
Dave.
most people,
Dave,
when you're done with it.
May I?
Shit
With a
comes
quick
out of your.
question.
All right, hold on. Shit comes out of your butt, which is
Yes.
made from old food.
it's not food, Dave.
Do you eat shit, Dave?
I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
I don't want to forget. I had that question. I don't want to forget it.
Yeah,
Holy
yes,
shit,
Brandon.
what a
Yeah,
The
Yes,
yes,
listeners
Brandon.
want to know.
Apparently.
Sorry.
Brandon finally got to do it. Food. It's not food,
Breast
dude.
milk. Breast milk is no, because so when women have babies, women with AIDS will sometimes have babies that don't have AIDS, so they have to
Give
say
them
it's
AIDS
not breast
somehow.
milk.
Yeah, where
Well-
do they get AIDS babies from?
Well, that happens also, but it happens also the other way too. And this was what they couldn't explain to me when I was in school,
Wait,
and
the
I even
baby
asked
gave the
this
mom
question.
AIDS?
No. So sometimes a mother will have AIDS, but the baby won't. That's what happens sometimes. Like, that's the thing. So what I'm saying is I've asked people and they could never answer. And then I figured it out. It's because, like I said, okay, I keep saying AIDS. What I mean is a mother has HIVs. Is that what I said? And then the baby doesn't have HIV.
No, you
that
said
has
AIDS.
happened sometimes. Okay, all right. So
Definitely said AIDS.
let's back up. All right, yeah.
Full-blown AIDS.
Yeah,
The
that baby's
best
dead.
kind.
Let's be clear. The mother has full-blown AIDS. That baby, yeah, it's anyway. So the
This
mother has
mother's
HIV,
like,
but sometimes
make up your mind, Brandon. You're already shaming me. Which one you giving me, Brandon?
is it roll AIDS? This hypothetical mother. Listen, this is someone I really know. So we're
That's what I
digging
would
hard.
call a
Her
fat
name is-
woman
That's what
with
she said.
AIDS.
Her
That's what she
address.
said. That's
I'm
what
gonna
she said.
dox her. That's what.
But a fat
So
woman
if a
with
mother
AIDS.
has,
Hold on, Brandon. I'm doing a joke.
Yeah.
A fat woman with AIDS. Roll AIDS. Because she has rolls and she has AIDS. It was going to be good. And then
She's
you
rolling.
guys tried to do knowledge.
yeah, we're so
Back to AIDS, Brandon. Whatever.
back to AIDS.
I'm batting 990 now. Even the mighty Casey strikes out sometimes.
Bop, ba-da, bop.
Stop making me stew in
So-
my silence.
So okay, so AIDS.
Dave
back,
wants to
back
laugh.
to
He knows it
HIV
hurts my
mothers.
pride.
Back to mothers with HIV, something everybody wants to hear about. There have been mothers that have been HIV positive and then have babies that aren't. So they have to tell you that it can't be transmitted through the breast milk to cover their story. You get it? To cover the reason why. Because if it was real, like I said, if I'm saying HIV isn't a real virus, I'm saying all viruses aren't real. That's my whole what I'm going to get to.
There's no
Spoiler
viruses.
alert. No viruses. It's a construct. It's and I'll explain.
But not even
front
like
and
the
back. Go
flu?
ahead. Nope.
Dave?
No,
Yeah, it's
You
gonna
asked-
blow your mind. Trust me, it was
you asked
some
my
shit I
question.
came across,
You're
and
gonna ask about the
I had to go through like the Rubicon. Dude, yeah, that's what I had to
But
ask
Dave
about.
was so sad. 'Cause I said it, and Dave's like, I was I flew.
Bum, bum. He couldn't just make up another one. He couldn't
Yeah,
just
like
what about-
easily.
What about
Computer
What about
viruses.
whooping
what
cough?
about herpes? What about herpes?
I couldn't think of any other viruses.
So yeah, so no on breast milk. What's the verdict?
Oh, breast milk does it.
Does or does not?
Yeah, it does. Everything I read to you does it, except for chunky goat. And then I'm gonna do one more fun fact thing, and then Brandon's gonna give us the real thing. HIV infection occurs when infected bodily fluids get into your bloodstream in these ways. I'm gonna say one, and then Brandon, you tell me if it's right or wrong.
You want to have Dave go
Unprotected
first?
sex, including
No.
sex toys.
What?
Yes.
No.
Well, this is all real. This is what they're saying. These are the 1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4 ways from mother to child during pregnancy, childbirth, or breastfeeding. So any of the steps, as soon as a kid's in you, you're AIDSing it up.
Oh, I had that wrong. Yeah. All right.
Injecting drugs with a needle that has infected blood in it.
Yes. That's what they're saying.
Infected
Someone
blood
switched my drug
donations. I'm sorry, infected blood donations or organ transplants.
Yeah.
Please
Yeah.
send your infected blood donations to the number at the bottom of the screen. We can make more AIDS babies. Please help us.
Please
Give your
help us in our
donations
quest
to us.
to make
If you'd
AIDS
like to
COVID
donate
babies.
AIDS.
What's the best nation in the world? A donation. Give me $1, motherfucker.
So is that what they mean when they say give aid? You're actually just donating your AIDS blood?
No.
That's only what we mean when we say give AIDS.
Oh.
I thought we went through this. Didn't you get the email, dude?
I'm
How to get AIDS?
gonna sit in Dave's joke and make him feel bad.
I mean, you could try.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, Dave doesn't need the
It
attention.
just goes
like I
over
do.
his head, you know?
No, he just doesn't. Dave has confidence, and I don't. I need you fuckers to laugh, or there's no point in this show.
Listen, I know
What?
I'm funny. Just because you guys don't know that.
Dave,
That's
I've
not on
been
me.
at the shows that you opened me for.
That really is on you. I wouldn't have made that choice.
Well, you're funny, but I go up there and I walk up there like, thank God this guy came because Michael Flatley has to get the fuck off stage now. Lord of the Dance.
Shots fired.
Oh, I love Dave, and he makes me laugh. Even when he brings up Magic Johnson's AIDS to a fucking group of people in Northampton, and they're like, what the fuck? We liked him.
Another comedian.
All right, so
I
why?
misunderstood that.
Okay, then why make up AIDS? Why is AIDS? Why do we know about it? Why the scare in the 80s? Why did all this happen?
All right, so again, I can't. When it comes to this stuff, I can only tell you facts that I know. It's harder. This is the thing, right? So many people try. They try to nail the narrative, and that's what they do. They become these detectives, and they try to piece. Go ahead.
Dave will only tell you facts that he doesn't know.
Ah, damn it.
You're going to do it to me.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I know. Go ahead, Brandon. Sorry.
See, like I said, I sound really dumb.
No, you don't. You sound
I know,
smart.
I know.
We're just
Yeah,
two
or you know what I'm
children.
No, it's fine.
According to what you know,
This, no, I love this. This is actually very helpful because it's what I need. Because that's why I listen back to my podcast so I could catch my mistakes when I speak. So I could sound.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't make any mistakes.
I like to sound.
Just to be
smarter
clear,
than smart
you didn't
people.
make any mistakes. You were saying you can only give us the facts you know. So I was
can
saying
give you
that
the
Dave's
facts.
only going to tell us things he doesn't know because Dave's dumb.
Right.
It was about
Those are
Dave.
the only facts I know.
Oh! I thought. Oh, all right, never mind.
No,
Okay.
don't get caught up in the fact that me and Dave are just shitting on each other while you're being brilliant. No, but seriously,
Which, by the way,
real
shitting on
quick,
each other.
Dave, before you do that,
I love how he
so
goes.
Brandon, in your opinion,
Yes.
now I'm saying this, why would they make up an AIDS scare if there really isn't an AIDS?
Excellent question.
This goes basically to the overall narrative that we are a slave class and there's a ruling class of elites, if you want to call them, their government or whatever it is. They're trained differently than us. They're schooled differently than us. So they do these things. They're called psyops, and they run them in the media. I mean, listen, if anybody's watching the news that can hear my voice right now, know that the news is total and utter bullshit. I don't care what you're watching or listening to. There's a reason they're giving it to you what they're giving. There's a reason, there's timing, there's all kinds of stuff. It's all, and these are all, like I said, facts. I'm not like one of these crazy, like, conspiracy theorists who tries to paint a picture. I just try to tell you the things that I know. And then if you know these, then you're like, wait a minute, if this is true, you have to take that into account. And so when you ask me about the AIDS narrative, I think it's just a way to monger fear, because fear mongering.
We learned
is
monger
what it's all
last
about.
episode.
Exactly.
If you want to know what monger is,
Yeah,
check
say
out
it.
our last podcast.
Well, unless we do them out of order, though, because I don't know.
Oh, shit.
No, we'll do it in order. So that
Okay.
way I can play my harmonica.
I got a harmonica.
What the fuck is that?
It's
Halfway
the worst
saying
pun
it, I
ever.
realized it didn't make any sense when I committed to the bit.
It's the name of his new podcast. Check it out, guys. It's a harmonica podcast with Pat Oates. He's going to talk about anal mucus. He's going to talk about anal mucus and his adventures to discover time travel so he can go back in time and call everybody in high school anal mucus face.
Tried so hard. This is gonna crush harmonica, and I'm like, I can't even say the word.
You really did try so hard.
Dave is crying right now. We made
Oh my
Dave
God,
cry.
I can't. I'm sweating. Monger. Like, what was I thinking? It's not even. Monger does not fit in harmonica. Why did I think that was a thing?
Oh,
I could have
nailed
said
it.
Monger Lewinsky, and that would have been better off than harmonica.
Were you thinking
Oh.
Mongoloid?
I wasn't thinking, man. I just
Oh.
was fucking
Mongoloid?
going with the guns flow.
Harmongoloid works.
It was gold though. Fuck it.
Monger Lewinsky worked.
It sounds like something you did to somebody. What'd you do? I manga heard her Kerlinsky.
I Monger Lewinsky, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I'm saying.
I
No,
dirtied up
not
her
allowed back in
Sanchez.
Kansas.
I dirtied up her Sanchez and Monger Lewinsky.
We ain't in Kansas anymore. We ain't allowed back either.
But I'll take a Topeka at your ass.
Nope, none of those either. Too many of them. Gotta leave.
All right.
You know what? You know what? Oh,
Yes, Dave.
you know what? You know what monument is most likely to give you AIDS?
Washington Monument, because it's a big dick.
Lake Titicaca.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
The dude who named that was so cool.
It has anal mucus and breast milk in it. That's like a deadly combination. That's a lethal AIDS cocktail, everybody.
Oh,
The guy, when they were naming shit,
oh.
and he's like, he was doing what Dave does. He just goes, yeah, dude. Titicaca. No, we can't call the capital of America that. We can't. Okay. Now we're on this late. Yeah, dude. Titicaca. Yeah, you know what, dude? Fuck it. You can get a lake. You can name that, and you can name the NFL player Dick Buckus, and that's all you get. Lake Titicaca. Like, I don't. Even the Indians or Native Americans or indigenous folk, whatever you call them, even they knew what that was. They're like, no, that means fertile land of the corn and maize. No, it means titties and caca. Lake Titicaca.
Oh, that was delightful.
Speaking of titties and cacos, that was a good laugh right there. It felt like I was exercising. Whew.
Yeah, it felt good.
Break.
Yeah.
Felt like I didn't have AIDS for a minute.
Damn it. I forgot for a minute. Back to having
So
AIDS.
is
That's
this
what I'm
like
trying to
everybody
When
convince
you
everybody.
forget you have AIDS, like Magic Johnson, you're just owning 18 Starbucks in the movies, and then Jeffrey Epstein on his flying plane of fucking kid fucking comes in and goes, "Hey, Magic, remember we own you. You have to keep telling people you have AIDS, even though you don't." He's like, "All right."
All right. What if this whole podcast was just an elaborate ploy to convince people that AIDS didn't exist because I have AIDS?
Do you think Magic Johnson is like the best spokesperson for AIDS?
No.
Who's better?
Pat.
Pat?
Not Pat. I'm calling on him. I would think Charlie Sheen if you asked me to
First of
answer
all,
the question.
I'm better.
Pat is better than Charlie Sheen, yes, because he
Does
didn't. fuck
Brandon
Corey
really
Feldman
think
or Corey
that
Haim.
people would think that this whole podcast was an elaborate scheme just to convince people you don't have AIDS?
No, that was kind of a joke.
No, but I'm saying, if
Oh.
you had AIDS, we wouldn't have waited till episode 4.
No, if I had it and I was secretly, and I
This would,
convinced you
it
guys.
would not be called Podophiles. It'd be called Brandon has AIDS. Dave?
Yes, Dave.
Brandon,
Oh, again, if I had HIV, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
how many times has it happened to you that you have interactions with people and they're like, I wonder if he has AIDS?
I wonder if there's an elaborate scheme covering this.
It's a conspiracy. That's why I'm always putting people on the other ones. I don't want them onto my conspiracy that I have the HIV.
If
I feel like he's got AIDS. It just isn't taken.
Imagine. I'll tell you this, Dave. I'm not sure, but I do project on everybody that I meet that they probably think I have the HIV.
That's one of the ways you can catch it. By
Yeah.
projecting. Projecting
I
your
project
anal
my
mucus.
anal mucus. Damn it! He beat me. That was a photo finish.
Yes. I don't know if you know this, but in the original Ghostbusters, that was anal mucus covering all the Ghostbusters.
Everyone
Right
had
at a
AIDS.
Slimer's cornhole.
Oh,
Exactly.
Slimer's original name was AIDSy. They just changed it They thought Slimer would sell better.
Heavy. So, okay, but really, why make this up? Why? I know you're going to say to scare us into what? It didn't scare. Were we trying to stop? Was it somebody trying to stop homosexuals? Because that's what it was aimed at first.
Oh, we lost.
It went to drug. It went to the things that I'm. This is not my opinion. What I'm about to say is what I think higher ups thought. So it's not my opinion. Maybe a little bit. AIDS was focused on the people that we looked at as the lesser thans or the ones we didn't want. The gays, the poor, and drug addicts. It was kind of like they have it, stay away from them. In a way of division and a thing where every time it looks like unity's coming together, we get a disease that kind of divides. Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah, well, I kind of, I think so, because that time, think about it. Reagan was in office. We had a strong Republican that was an actor.
Nancy sitting there with her one tit.
And now we have Trump, who was a strong
She
Republican
only
who was
as
an actor.
Contagious.
Yeah, exactly. Just say no.
There was no breast milk in that fucking old lady's dried up mammary gland.
She can only go to tit caca, if you know what I'm saying.
No titty or caca. By the way, that reminds me of Mike Dukakis.
Fun fact about Mike Dukakis, his wife, this is terrible to
Titty
say, but
Dukakis.
He was a terrible alcoholic, and when she was in a rehab, she boiled rubbing alcohol. I remember hearing this on the radio to drink alcohol. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Her name was Kitty Dukakis, which is one word. That's like pussy, tit, poop.
Dukakis.
The funny thing is, I bet that's not true, and we still think it is, and just you're talking about it because you know what I mean? Like, we should look that up one time.
Well, her name was Kitty Dukakis.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying about the alcohol thing, the rubbing alcohol thing. It was probably just like some made up,
I bet her name was Catherine.
Yeah, I bet she was a nice girl.
That's
just like the mouthwash,
That Kurt Metzger joke where he's like, it's weird, like Richard means dick and all that. And he's like, that's a name, so you can say it. And he's like, what if cunt was like short for Catherine? It's like, my name's Catherine, but call me cunt.
Do you know about Dick Pound?
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's a good one. Yeah.
It's about $3 now.
No, there's a guy, I think he's in the CIA, but he like writes. Yeah, it was funny. All right, Pat. I thought it was about $3.50.
Sounded like every ex-girlfriend I ever had.
Pat had some.
It was funny, Pat. All right. It was fine.
Brandon, why did you just pat him on the head?
They're there. Holy fucking fuck
I think
you.
He had a flashback. He had some PTSD.
Fuck you. PATSD. Fuck you, guy who has AIDS.
This is the thing. When I get focused, I get like on point, and I just get my retarded ADD kicks in.
No, and that's what helps this show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, COVID, we were kind of coming together, not really well, but enough. We were a little bit.
How?
The economy was good.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant as a group of people.
It wasn't racially divided.
Well,
it was party divided.
I think
it became racially divided after COVID.
I think it started with Trump.
Kind of, but not really, because there was a lot of black people on that side too. The racial divides now become more. I mean, now it's crazy.
Yeah.
The racial. Okay, so really quick, I think the racial divide. The seeds were planted with Trump, and then all the other shootings and stuff that happened. But you're right, the racial divide didn't come till after COVID. Then they did the Wayne Sexton thing. Oh, I'm sorry, George Floyd. When he died.
Brandon, do it again. You love it, so tell everyone who hasn't ever heard about it. Tell them
Wayne
Sexton.
Wayne Sexton is George Floyd's second grade teacher. She was his teacher, who kept his homework for 38 years, and it was all about equality. And I'm sorry. So Wayne Sexton, you think to yourself, Dr. Wayne Sexton was her name. White lady, yes. Dr. Wayne Sexton. Look it up. It's hilarious.
By the way, when Brandon,
I have looked up Wayne Sexton. It's my favorite Pornhub category.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
But by the way, you two had the same exact conversation on my podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, and you even did that joke and looked it up. So fuck you.
Nice.
Second of all, Brandon doesn't really sell the point in that thing where he's saying you're supposed to hardly say allegedly. There's no fucking way that this teacher has George Floyd's homework from 38 years ago about equality. This is obviously
this is what I'm telling you. Okay.
Say he is this hero, obviously. But when you're
So,
going to make up a person, you don't make up a name like Wayne Sexton. That's what Brandon's trying to say.
The point of view that I'm looking at this. So when people say to you, what do you think? The whole world's controlled by all these people and they think it's doom and gloom. But no, I don't think so, because I think they're funny. I think they're hilarious. They make up things like Wayne Sexton, Dick Pound. You know what I mean? So hang on one second really quick, and I'll go to Dave. I think that they're trying to wake people up to this, and they want people, to find out, and that's what real freedom is about. Go ahead, Dave.
I'd like to resubmit Wayne Sexton. I'm going to go nautical theme on this. It's a device for finding butt sex.
Yeah. I like that. Pat? Yeah, you're funny, Pat.
Submit that Brandon, while saying that last thing he said, named 2 George Michael songs, and he had AIDS, I think. He said, "Wake me up," and then he said, "Freedom," and that's George Michael, who may not have had AIDS, but was super gay.
He was AIDS adjacent, I can tell you that.
You think a guy named Jason has AIDS, and then people call him AIDS adjacent, and he's like, "All right, I got it, a little on the nose."
A little on the...
Got a little anal mucus on your nose.
I'm gonna go vomit now.
It's like selling a loft in Chelsea. Well, it's AIDS adjacent.
I think anal mucus is grosser than the word moist. It's really...
Yeah. It's anal mucus. Moist can be used for other things. Yeah. Anal mucus will not be on a recipe for cake.
Hey, my chain is a little dry. You got any anal mucus? I need to oil it up.
When you got dry chains like I do, sometimes it's just me, a ghost haunting a fucking house. And my chains are all dry.
Dry chain.
Man,
hello, it's me, Wilfred Brimley, for chains.
Chain of beaties.
Hello, I'm Sidney Poitier. When I was on the set of Roots, we had dry chains. Thank God for anal mucus.
You can't pick cotton and chains, Pat. Come on. Let's be real here. Let's be adults.
You want to bet?
So anyway, we'll do that's another episode. Let's get back to AIDS.
Wait, slavery wasn't real? Shit, write that one.
No, slavery was real. Again. But it wasn't what we were told. Again, it wasn't what we were told.
What were you told?
It wasn't.
I was told it was cool.
Everybody was doing it.
I'll just say it wasn't Django Unchained. It wasn't like that. And, maybe some of it was, but there was.
I don't think anyone thinks it was Django Unchained.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. That whole narrative, that whole story.
Wearing a blue suit.
Yeah.
No
that level of craziness, because a lot of there's just this is something we've got to wait to get into, because we'll divert from AIDS way too much in the viruses, but it's just you just got to know your history, man. Come on, look, that's.
Look, every time I try to talk to Gladys, she keeps diverting from AIDS.
All I'm gonna say is
Gladys.
Abraham Lincoln technically didn't free the slaves.
Please get back to AIDS.
He let him just put him into his army to fight and die. So that's what he did. He was a scumbag.
You're talking about Pinochle. I'm trying to focus on AIDS.
Can we get back to AIDS now? It's like says no one ever.
I'm sure someone did. A guy dying of his AIDS, his doctor's like, "Oh, I wonder if the Cubs are winning." He's like, "Can we get back to the AIDS?"
So actually, I could get back to what I was talking about before I broke down, and that was, yeah, you like that one. The inventor of the PCR test, his name was Kerry Mullins, and he won a Nobel Prize for inventing this test that I was talking about that takes the mucus and then makes it bigger. So he won that prize, and he said that this should never be used as a form to diagnose a disease or an illness. This is just to study, just to look at things. It's not to be used as a method of diagnosis. He said this, and he invented the test. Fast forward now, that guy, I think he's already dead, but fast forward now, they're using it to diagnose COVID. This is what they use, the PCR test. Go ahead.
Isn't Carrie Ellis the guy who starred in The Princess Bride?
No, Mullins.
Yeah, he didn't say that name at all.
Are you sure?
No, he said a different name.
Carrie Mullins. Yeah, Karryb Mullins.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mullis. Carrie Mullis. Thank you, Dave, because if you didn't stop us, I would have screwed up the name. Carrie Mullis.
Yes, Dave.
Yeah.
So, but Carrie Ellis is the guy who starred in the Princess Bride.
Dave, what you're doing is inconceivable.
No,
Inconceivable.
He's keeping it
Inconceivable.
ridiculous. Unbelievable. Grandma like a hammer is unreceivable. Sorry.
That's
another
a pretty
thing
good
I-
Andre.
I break out into rap sometimes.
I don't believe you're pronouncing it right, Dave.
Princess Bride.
No, the guy's name.
No, it's Carrie something, isn't it?
It's Carrie, but it's Elwes, like Yules.
Huh.
His real name is Ivan Simon Carey Yules. What the fuck?
Ivan Simon? Your parents were dicks.
No, but think about it. Ivan and Simon are cooler names than Carrie.
Yeah. Well.
But not when they're next to each other. They sound too.
Simon Yules sounds hot as fuck.
That is agreed.
That's a Duran Duran motherfucker right there. That's Simon Yules?
Simon Yules is a boner factory.
Or Ivan Simon. Just be your first two names.
Speaking
Ivan
of AIDS.
Simon.
You know where I
Boner
hate
factories.
working?
Boner factories.
30 years. My father worked at the boner factory. My grandfather worked at the boner factory.
Hey, you know what I heard
Hard
about
work at the boner factory.
You know what I heard about the boner factory? The pay is terrible, but the tips are huge.
Yep.
Oh,
And everybody comes in.
really? I heard they were shutting down
Last
due to
place.
automation.
Really?
No, they were shutting down due to masturbation.
The boner
That's
factory.
I'm funny. My mom says I'm funny.
Oh, I have
All
a
right,
stitch in
so-
my side.
Back to
Where
Carrie
is
Mullis.
the boner factory? Right next to the pussy plant. The pussy plant's next door.
It's right next to the cunt canal.
They used to sell a lot. You know what? When we named these three things, we didn't realize that Cunt Canal would have the hardest time trying to keep people there.
There's all these protests outside. They keep wanting to change the name.
Yeah, they're like, that's a river. It's Cunt River. If you're going to name it, be accurate. That's not a canal. Oh, you thought I had a problem with the cunt part?
Now they're all cunts.
The pussy plant. It was doing well for a while, but then it all dried up.
And you know what happened with the boner factory? They used to be real hard workers, but they got real soft. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it got. You know what? I heard that during the winter, it got a lot of shrinkage in the boner factory.
The output, there wasn't much output, the shrinkage.
What's their export? Mostly cum.
Hey, did
You either shape up or you ship up down the old cunt canal. I'm telling you right now. You get down there.
You know what they say about the cunt river? Every once a month it runs red with blood.
Who says that?
They do.
Worst guy.
You know what happened?
What?
Yeah, the boner factory.
Yes, Dave.
Boner factory. It's full of semen. They all got discharged. it's because they're in the Navy. Then they went to the cunt canal.
Oh, I get it.
To
They're
the ocean.
civilian contractors. Ah,
Yeah.
that's intelligent. So Carrie Mullis, on top of also saying that the PCR test should never be used to diagnose.
I liked all those jokes, by the way.
Oh, those are fucking I had to get serious because my mouth hurts from laughing, and I'm not joking.
That's what
So-
she said.
But she was joking because it was from, you know what it was from. So Carrie,
Hey. One more.
Yes, Dave. Yes.
One more. You know who manages? You know who manages the boner factory?
no.
The foreskin man.
I was gonna spit coffee. It sucked.
I heard his pay got clipped.
Oh,
Speaking of Zionists, everybody. Oh, that's the last episode. All right.
The one thing is they don't have a cafeteria there. They all have to bring their lunch sack.
All the lunches are in a sack.
You know what I hate? The once-a-year ball they have.
Talk
That's
about
right.
peanut allergies. Am I right?
The girls from the
Yes.
vagina factory come in. They have a mixer.
They came. That's a myth. Come on.
Yeah. It's not real.
The clit's real. It's the female orgasm. That's the myth. Jane Silent Bob. All right, movie references. Now, moving right along. Carrie Mullis also said that he wants to write a book about HIV and
He
about
died of AIDS.
and he died of AIDS. He was like, "Dear Abby." So he went to write a book, and
Dear AIDS.
he started off the book. This, you could make like a movie. This would be like a good Saturday Night Live sketch if Saturday Night Live is still good. Shots fired.
Oh yeah, no, shots fired. If Saturday Night Live was still good, they could do this sweet AIDS sketch.
Listen, this show is way better than Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live
I
is
know,
garbage.
because I'm on it. But it's great. But I do Chinese voices. I do it all.
So he went to write a book, and he goes, okay, he's like, HIV causes AIDS because of blank, and then he put like, he went to put a footnote in there. So he went to research the footnote to see where the study was that said that HIV causes AIDS. And after a year, he couldn't find it. And he went to a dinner with a bunch of other Nobel Prize winners that were into this, like all the AIDS guys, all the AIDS heroes were there. I think the French guy you were talking about was there.
AIDS
Oh, all the AIDSies in the blue. It was a
AIDS Vengers assemble.
It was the AIDS powwow, if you will.
All the AIDS heroes are right behind
All the
Pat.
AIDS heroes.
We have to form the AIDS Vengers. They have to assemble.
It was like Voltron, but guys with AIDS studying
But
AIDS.
gayer.
What's your superpower? I have AIDS.
So
Coordinating my outfits.
it's funny, as all the ridiculous jokes that we've told, it's not going to be more ridiculous than what I'm about to say. So he went up to this guy who was the expert and said to him, "Hey, I'm writing this book. I can't find the study that says that HIV proves AIDS, or causes AIDS. Where can I find it? What's the study?" And the guy says, "This is it," cites a study. And then Carrie Mullis goes, no, I know that study. It's wrong because this, that, whatever. The guy turns around and walks away, and then everyone just blackballed him from that day on. Like, that's his story.
Why is it called blackballed?
Because back in the days of the boner factory, when you're working down at the coal mine,
You'd get some ash on your balls.
Is that related to blue balls? Is it like black and blue balls?
Well,
Because we know blue balls is fake.
blackballed means like,
Black-
I'll be right back. I'm getting
we're
some
fucking
water.
you over. Were they like nothing worse than seeing your wife with some black balls in her? That's tough to deal with. You're not gonna get out of this one. Your wife's got a whole bunch of black balls on her. So let's just tell people that's what happens to them when they're fucked the most. They're blackballed. What have you learned about AIDS so far, Dave?
I learned that Carrie Ellis is not. Apparently, he discovered AIDS.
He won the Nobel Prize for not doing shit. It doesn't sound that hard to win the Nobel Prize.
I'm thinking I could do it.
Kind of researched AIDS.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys something. I'm so happy because I've been like banging my head against the wall for months trying to figure out a way to bring truth to people, but in a fucking absolutely
You found
hilarious, silly. Yeah, and I think I just found it. Yeah, exactly.
I knew this was a good idea by
Yeah.
me.
So, because everything I'm saying, well, I mean, unless the dude was, maybe he's lying. I don't know, but the fact does remain. And what this gets us into is what's called terrain theory. And so what we go by right now is called germ theory. And that was put forth by Louis Pasteur. You probably heard of him, the pasteurization process.
Milk, baby.
Go ahead, Dave.
Yes.
Oh, I just want to make sure. Are we going to cover all terrain theory?
Dave, if we can hold the sarcasm to the end.
Yes, Dave, there'll be a session later for sarcasm. It's called the sarcasm session. I think there's an email. You might have got the email.
We're trying to learn. Thank you, Dave.
It's gonna be later. It's definitely not gonna be now. We're not being sarcastic at all.
Now, let Brandon do this one point because I do want to hear this before we have to like realize we're gonna do another episode on AIDS.
So anyway, terrain theory. So germ theory, you know what it states. You get sick, other people get sick, they infect other people because they're sick, because germs come out of their body, viruses come out of their body and get them infected. All right, so terrain theory says that there's something in your terrain. There's something in your area, some kind of poison, some kind of toxin, and it's causing you to get sick. And therefore, your cells, the cells, when they encounter this toxin, they break apart and they exude what's called exosomes. And they call this a virus because they discovered it. So they had their whole theory set. They had the whole germ theory set, but they couldn't see the virus. Then years later, they discover the big microscope, the electron microscope, that's the one. And they look under some goo, back to the goo, and they see something. They see something like this or whatever. And they go, it's got to be a virus because this is what's causing it. And then later, in like the 1960s, this other guy discovers this thing called an exosome. And it looks similar to this too. But an exosome is different. So instead of a virus coming in and attacking a cell and then the cell breaking apart, an exosome is part of a cell. When a cell breaks apart, the exosomes go out to surround the toxin. And now if you think about like breast cancer, this relates because sometimes they find,
all I think about.
sometimes they think about so I can't do this without massaging my
The
boobs.
sexiest cancer.
So they find lumps and they have like a toxin in them. It can come from like women's deodorant or whatever, and it's surrounded by these cells. So it reminds me of that too. So what's happening is there's what these people in terrain theory are proposing is that it's the body's natural response to a toxin in the area. So it releases it, right? And it goes to surround the toxin. So it looks like you're getting sick. And now, because you're fighting this toxin or infection or whatever it's causing, you get a fever, you get all the symptoms of like the flu, right? And then you're going to think to yourself, well, then how do other people get sick? Well, I have that for you too, because that's a question I had. I'm like, well, then how does somebody get someone sick? Like if someone comes home with the flu, why does everybody get it, right? Well, from what I've deduced looking into it and what they say in the theories that they have.
The guy who came home diddled his children.
Yeah, right in the butt. It was terrible. There was a lot of anal mucus.
So much.
They bottled it. They were selling it on eBay. That's back when you could sell human organs. They tried selling a kidney back. Those were that's when eBay was the shit. Anyway, I digress. So, the internet.
You could buy anal mucus 5 for $1.
Yeah, you can get all the AIDS you want. So the theory that it looks like what happens is it's more of like an allergic reaction. So your body's kind of having an allergic reaction to this toxin.
My body is allergic to AIDS.
And yeah, exactly.
My body hates AIDS.
So that's kind of.
Wait, what, bro?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
My sister, when she was younger, she loved tomatoes, but she would get sick from eating them, and she'd go, I love tomatoes, but tomatoes hate me. I'm the same way with AIDS.
You love AIDS, but AIDS hates you?
Yeah, because people who have AIDS are usually pretty sexy. Like, I would definitely mount Magic Johnson.
It's tough to get AIDS if you're not sexy.
I want to know what that looks like.
Yeah, if you're ugly and you got AIDS, what the fuck?
That drugs. It has to be drugs.
Go ahead, Brandon. Back to you.
I was just trying to imagine what you would look like Mountain Magic Johnson. It would look like him shitting like vanilla.
That would be Magic Mountain, all right.
Yeah, but like he's like 6'9", dude.
We can't see you because you disappeared. You're shit.
Yeah, I'm just skull fucking the shit out of Irvin. That's what I call him when I fuck him. I call him Magic. I skull fuck. I go, you take that, Irvin. Take that, Irvin. Your friends called you Buck. Magic's not even your nickname for your friends. Buck was your friend's nickname. Magic's what people called you. And then the best joke ever happened in the 80s. The second he got AIDS, people go, what does Magic stand for? My ass got infected, coach. That was my favorite. That was before the internet. That was before anything. That joke just got out there.
I remember that. And then also by calling him Buck, I guess we know how he got AIDS, right?
Yeah.
Am I right, everybody?
I didn't know he was called Buck.
That was by his friend. I read that in the back of a basketball card once.
I thought you were going to say in a bathroom stall.
I read that in a bathroom stall for a good time called Buck Johnson.
That actually sounds like you could read it in a bathroom stall.
Actually, I was told that by a young James Worthy. No one's
Call Buck
basketball
Johnson
fans.
for a good time.
James
No, I
Worthy
know who-
was on the Lakers.
Yeah, he was on the Lakers.
I know.
Yeah.
Dave didn't get it at all.
Oh.
No.
He wasn't worthy of that joke.
One day, me and Kurt Rambis were double teaming this hooker, and he yelled out, "If you want a good time, go get yourself some Magic Johnson." I call him Buck. I'm like, "Thanks, Kurt Rambis."
My friends used to call me Brambis because I had glasses and I would try to play basketball and I was tall and awkward, just like Kurt Rambis. And they'd be like, Brambis. Oh, it was great. It was my first nickname.
I can't believe you don't know who Kurt Rambis is, Dave.
No.
Kurt Rambis.
Not-
He's the
not so
He
great
was
knowledgeable
the
about
ultimate
sports.
white man basketball player.
Yeah, it was
Like-
actually a compliment to be called that because he was a great player. He just looked dorky and awkward. That was
All right, do you know who Dennis Rodman was?
Yes.
All right, do you know why Dennis Rodman was considered valuable for basketball? Mostly because he was an incredible rebounder and defender. Hustler. Couldn't score points, didn't anything that. He did hard work. Like, he would rebound more than anybody.
He worked the shaft really
That used to be a tall white man's thing. Kevin McHale, stuff like that. It really was.
Kevin McHale.
It was like one of those things where, like, if you were a hustling white guy, McHale also had skills that could score, but Rambis was really just that guy who would dive, would bleed, didn't care. It went nuts so everyone else could score. Brandon's having a great time with this. As I'm
Rambis
discussing.
is like the best wingman.
For 45 minutes, Brandon's trying to teach everyone about AIDS, and I just went on a Kurt Rambis lesson session in the middle of this. But go ahead.
It's because you said he's really good at scoring.
No, not scoring.
No, or he's good at helping people score.
Yeah,
so I was like,
so
he's a
Yeah,
great
exactly.
wingman.
Help people score and
It's the
while
wingman.
bleeding.
But you
get
said
that.
something, and I forgot what it was. But yeah, it had
was
to do with
great.
scoring. When I go back and listen, I'll get it again, and I'll call you. But anyway.
That's all right. Thanks for that part.
Yeah.
I was just trying to teach
Anytime.
people about the white power of Kurt Rambis. He was a white power forward. By the way, if I owned an electric company, I would sell it to Betty White, just so she could call it the Betty White Power Company.
All right.
All right. Let's finish up AIDS.
Okay, so back to live terrain theory. So like I said, it's kind of like an allergic reaction. So you get sick because you're having an allergic reaction to a toxin in your environment, and people will be like, "Oh, what's a toxin?" Okay, go to my YouTube channel. It's now Brandon Bonanza, and there's a podcast I did about toxins. There's toxins in everything. There's toxins in sunscreen, in deodorant, toothpaste, all kinds of stuff. Go ahead, Dave.
Yes, Dave.
Instead of, I'm just Brandon Bonanza. Did you ever consider Bonanza?
Brandanza? Brandando. It's actually Brandon because it's Espanol. But so
The kids and I would always sing, "It's a Brandon Bonanza."
Bonanza.
See, I was thinking of Bonanza.
Bonanza.
Yeah, the
Or
show
you could go.
with that exact
Yeah,
name.
but I can't remember I can't remember the. Thank you. That's so good.
No, hang on. Yeah, there.
Do you remember the episode of Married with Children where Al grows a garden? Bum bada bum bada bum the vegetable garden.
Oh, yeah.
Bum bada bum bada bum bada bum bada bum bada bum bum corn.
I've seen every episode of that 1,000 times.
That was
So it's kind of like you have an allergic reaction to this toxin in your environment or whatever it is. It could be mold. I don't really know exactly. There's all these kinds of toxins. This is just, I'm giving you a brief overview, right? And then it happens in the winter because that's really when we're at our weakest because we're battling when it's cold anyway. So our body and our immune system is at its weakest. And then we also eat garbage. We eat like shit in this society. We look at fucking monitors all day. Like most people, there's just not healthy behaviors. No one's getting outside. No one's touching the earth.
I
No
ran
one's
miles.
No one's grounding.
Ran
Think about this.
several miles.
Humans throughout history are barefoot.
I ate
We're
cottage.
animals. That's what people forget. We're animals, right? So all that stuff is we're out of touch. It adds to this. So anyway, so also people think that maybe the exosomes will come out of my body and then maybe come into your body. Hang on one second, and then cause a allergic reaction in you, similar to that. So it's like a flu-like thing. Go ahead. Yes.
No, Dave, no. You're going to make a joke about coming out of bodies and into other bodies. It was doing well.
I wasn't.
let
I
it go.
wasn't originally. I was, but I did hear that and I couldn't let it go. What I was going to say is, Pat, I just want to make sure I heard you correctly because you were kind of quiet there. when Brandon was saying about how pussified we've been, and you were like, I ran 8 miles. You also threw in to be like tough. You ate cottage cheese.
That wasn't to be tough.
Is
He
that,
said we're also eating like shit. And I had cottage cheese and pineapples today.
So I mean, like, as a society,
That was 1980s old lady workout food.
think about the people who are like getting sick and dying from the flu. They're
Hold
probably
on,
eating
hold
at
on.
McDonald's.
Let me think about them.
You know? Think about moment of silence, right? These people are not. They're not exercising. They're eating at McDonald's. You know, they're watching a lot of television. They're not getting mobile. You know what I mean? And they get sick because of probably a toxin in their environment, right? So, back to the AIDS and the HIV thing. What people were dying? Yes, they were. You know, people in San Francisco in these bathhouses were partying their balls off, literally, having sex with, you know, whatever you want to do. I was a sex addict. It's great, man. Go to fucking town, right? They were doing all kinds of drugs all night, pounding each other out, and they were dying of autoimmune systems. You know, they were dying of AIDS. Autoimmune.
Some of them died from
syndrome.
anal gaping
Because their immune system was fucking shot, right? So all these people were dying, and it was like an epidemic. So what I'm kind of put together is, I think that there's just people that are opportunistic, because even if you look up
I was reenacting that town.
The symptoms of AIDS in Africa are different than the symptoms of AIDS in the United States. What that doesn't even make sense. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. AIDS and the HIV, like how it's caused and all that shit.
Yes, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry, I missed something.
Who would be the mayor of Pound Town?
Magic Johnson.
Somebody behind him. One of those guys.
Oh,
behind
Wilt
him,
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wilt Chamberlain.
yeah.
Wilt the stilt. That wasn't because he was tall.
Who's the mayor of San Francisco? That'd be the guy, because everyone was fucking.
Harvey Milk.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was, you know, kind of like.
I confused as a kid. I confused Harvey Dent with Harvey Milk. I didn't know anything about comic books, and I knew the name. I don't know why I knew the name Harvey Milk was in the news, I guess. And someone was like, "Do you read Batman?" I'm like, "Yeah, my favorite. Who's your bad guy?" And I was like, "Harvey Milk." And yeah, he was a bad guy, but in the wrong way. Anyway.
Harvey Milk.
He was a bad guy.
Can he be trusted?
Why won't you lick my asshole? It's not. I've cleaned out all the anal mucus.
Are you sure?
I'm not the gay you want. I'm the gay you deserve.
I'm the gay you get, baby. Now bend over.
The city needs gay heroes. Where the fuck is Aquaman? I'd like to fuck his gills. Harvey Milk.
Instead of the bat signal, it's the butt signal.
Didn't Brandon say that?
Did you?
No, I don't think so. I was
He's
gonna say
about butts.
I was gonna say, is gill sex legal? I think that's illegal. You can't have
gill sex? Sex with gills?
It's like sodomy. You know, sodomy's technically illegal still.
In Connecticut it is. In some states it's not. In Connecticut it is.
Yeah,
that's
great,
a fight worth fighting.
It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, no one's saying anything about that. So
I am.
Yeah, right now. You, sir, you and I.
You, sir.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, because you don't like vagina. We fought with this.
So they don't like it. It's just not my favorite.
Love it.
Technically, the definition of sodomy is any sex that isn't for procreation, just so you guys know. So
right.
We're all sodomites.
Oh, well then, yeah, we're all fine with that.
I've made children. I have 2 children. I am not a sodomite.
Just practicing.
Sodomite is that's an Australian sandwich thing, right?
Give me a sodomite sandwich.
It's also.
I am the man that goes down under. I like to suck on your big blunder.
It's also a level of Pop Warner football. You got the midgets, the mighty mites, and the sodomites. It's the Catholic division.
Sodomite, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
The altar boys. So, you know, there were people getting sick, and then intravenous drug use. Yeah, there are people who are using heroin, and they're using drugs. Of course,
Dave, let him get through a fucking point, Dave.
Of course, their immune system is going to get fucked up, right? Go ahead, Dave.
No, Dave. I'm going to mute you.
Nah, let him talk. It's cool. It's good practice for me to keep my point.
I know, but we got to end this podcast.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, Dave. One more thing.
Did you hear what happened when the altar boys made it to the playoffs?
No.
They choked.
Why were they in the playoffs? What game was this?
Was that when the Pope came to town?
Were they playing the Saints?
They were playing the priests.
They choked.
I think the priests were playing them, Dave.
That's a joke where you gotta be like, if you're not on board with priests always skull fucking kids, you're like, I don't get it. Like, well, you know how kids get fucked by priests? Like, well, sometimes, but not always. They're like, yeah, but if they did and they weren't fucking them and they were just shoving their cocks down their throats, they might choke. You know, like football.
That's the one thing that I get that it's not. Go ahead.
To be clear, I wasn't laughing at the choke.
No, I know.
I was laughing at the anticipation of Dave's weird Shatner-like pause for a punchline that you knew was going to fucking
That's why I was laughing. My favorite part of that whole thing was watching you, like you see it coming and you know it's not going to be worth it.
Oh, I knew it was going to be. The second you said playoffs, it's going to be joked. It's going to be joked.
I know. Oh, it's so good.
All right, let's wrap up AIDS.
Yeah, that's what she said. Let's wrap it up to not get AIDS.
I tried.
So, you know, if you're doing intravenous drugs, you're engaging in this behavior that is very detrimental to your health. And nobody, you know, you go to the doctor and they don't ask you like what you're eating. We were talking about this before. They don't ask you about this stuff. And, you know, what are you putting into your body? Because that's literally what you're making. So if you're already in a society where you have all these toxic chemicals around you, you're driving cars, people are farting in your face, you know, they're eating all the shit.
Dave's body makes food.
Dave eats shit.
Remember, Dave thought he made food out of his
Dave,
butt?
do you eat shit, Dave? Is there something you want to tell us? I think. Yeah, you know what? That he changed the subject when we were asking him about
We
that.
never got back to that.
Yeah,
The internet
he's a fucking dirty shit eater. This guy.
I forgot all about the turd burglar over here. Fucking eat the butt nuggets. So Brandon brought it up again.
Oh man, this is great because I would dare any like skeptic or troll to make it through this without laughing.
Even if they wanted to get mad, they'd get so offended they couldn't get mad.
Or they would feel bad for us because they're so terrible. They think that's funny. That's the worst. Oh, we can't turn these guys in.
Or
it's like Sharknado.
They don't believe in what we're talking about, but they think we're hilarious.
Yeah, either way, as long as they're watching, that's all that's little do they know. That's all we give a fuck about. I don't care about their opinion. Listen, the zombies are going to die.
There are things killing these people, but it's not this terrible thing like they're saying. Same thing with COVID.
It's an autoimmune. Okay, so it's an autoimmune deficiency syndrome, yes, but it's not passed on the way they say it is. That's the big
Same thing with COVID.
Same thing with COVID.
Exactly. People are dying, but it's not passed on the way they're saying.
People are dying because of the environment, because
but we don't need condoms and we don't need masks.
I mean, I don't know if herpes is real or any of that, or there's other bacteria.
Oh, it is.
Listen, there are other ways to infect people, I believe, but I just think viruses, you know, so yes, be clean and stuff, but I'm just saying that they're the reason this whole nation is shut down. They're telling us one thing, but it's like Die Hard. It's like the movie Die Hard. You think that there's terrorists in the Nakatomi building because they want to, you know, release the hostages, but they're just in there stealing the fucking gold, man. And that's what they're doing. They're just painting an elaborate picture for everybody. And I know that's crazy, but prove me wrong, motherfucker. That's what I say.
I don't think it's that crazy. I just like that you can sum up AIDS and COVID with, you know, Die Hard? Oh, you mean that Christmas movie? And more people would argue that it's not a Christmas movie than would argue that your AIDS point was correct.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So I think we learned something, that we don't need to wear condoms or masks ever.
Mask is just a condom for your face.
It is.
Oh, and we also learned that all these people died for no reason. R.I.P. Charlie Sheen's career.
Yeah, and then also I'd just like to add that there's a lot of strong evidence that the drugs that they use to treat AIDS are what are killing people. Like AZT, that's terrible. It's really
But
Good for you.
people think they need it, so they have to buy it, or they have to get on healthcare that takes it, and you make money off it. Yeah,
Yep.
it's obviously. I don't know if you know it. It's a pill monger.
Yeah, it's a scam, guys. It's a fucking billion, maybe
AZT.
$1 trillion scam. And if they could get people, if they can convince people to take their vaccine, and that's another thing, guys. You know, if condoms and masks aren't necessary, guess what else aren't necessary? Vaccines. Oh my God, I guess I'm an anti-vaxxer. So what I'm saying is,
Wait, next week.
listen. No, because I'll just sum it up right here. It's another $1 trillion industry. If they could get everybody to line up to get a fucking shot, it's as simple as it doesn't have to be an evil plan to try to depopulate people. It's just a fucking money-making scheme. You know?
I mean, some medicines are real.
Aspirin.
Yeah, aspirin's great.
My blood pressure medication has been working.
I'm going to tell you this, Pat. This is what
That
is real.
important.
They've done studies. The white lab coat and a doctor with a clipboard is the most powerful placebo in the Western world. And the most least powerful placebo is a leaf. But a leaf actually that can contain stronger medicine will work less on people because it's all about belief. It's like that guy Wim Hof I talked to you about who can climb Mount Everest with the
That
shorts.
dude's awesome.
It's all about belief. And what the modern medical industry, in my opinion, I just came to this epiphany, is what they're doing is they're just getting people to come to them. And I'm not talking about like if you get in a car accident and cut, you know, like I got a really bad cut in my arm. That's really great. Trauma, perfect. But the other side of it, and I'm not saying all doctors know about this and are conscious, but think about what doctors do. They go to school for their whole life. They're school consumers. They're taught to repeat. And then they're very proud of themselves, a lot of them, right? So maybe some are in on it. Some are probably psychopaths, right? And they like to cut people up and they're fucked up in the head. But what I'm trying to tell you is the epiphany that I came to is the modern medicine. It's called allopathic medicine. It comes from the Rockefeller line. Rockefeller's grandfather, John D. Rockefeller, his grandfather was a literal snake oil salesman. So what I believe happens is they're getting people to come in with these illnesses that they have, or sicknesses or chronic illnesses or whatever it is. And it's what's healing them is the white lab coat. It's the doctor telling him that, but then the doctor also gives them this petrochemical because that's also what allopathic medicine is. It was actually laughed at when it first came out. It was like the pseudoscience of this day. They give petrochemicals. And what is John D. Rockefeller known for? Oil. So anyway, you come to them and they give you this fucking medicine that's actually toxic because they have all these side effects. But your body's healing itself, but it's fighting off this toxin too at the same time. It's fucking crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
You know who else wears white coats? Judo instructors. I think we should end every show by saying judo.
Yeah, we should. How do you make a Jewish bagel?
Use judo. All right. Thanks for AIDS, Brandon.
Yeah, anytime.
See you soon,
That's
everybody.
what she said.
Bye, everybody.